Hello and welcome to a Kidspiration tutorial on the Math View. So we're going to begin by opening Kidspiration and then clicking on Math View. In the Math View, we've got 6 different sections, each with a unique math set of tools. One with colored tiles, pattern blocks, base 10 blocks, fraction tiles, and fraction boxes, and then the free workspace. I'd like to start with a free workspace to talk about the similar features that each of these sections have in common. So if I click on free workspace, it's just that, a blank white workspace where I want to share with you the text box, the line, and adding multiple pages. Each of these you could do with any of the math tools. So when we click on the top left section, we get a text box feature. In this text feature, you could write words. You can click in those or click out of those boxes, and you can move them around. You can drag the handles to make the box bigger if you wanted to write more text or change the layout or format. At the bottom, once the text box is selected, you can change the font to bold, italics, underline. There are 3 different size options, and then there is the border. You could also choose to fill in the text box. And then there are the math symbol additions to the text boxes. So if you wanted to create a text number sentence, for example, using 2 plus 2 equals 4, you could do that. So you could use these text boxes to create different number sentences, or students can use them to complete number sentences or fill in different sections that are missing. Notice at the bottom there's a little arrow that gives you additional symbols. So as you're looking to do more complicated math equations, just notice these at the bottom for your use. Another one of the tools that I like to share with you is this line tool. When you click on it, you get a line, and with its handles you can make it smaller or larger and position it on your page to separate or help organize different material. You can change the color of the line as well. The third feature I'd like to share with you is the multiple pages option for Math View. So in Math View, if you notice the top right corner, there's this window looking button. If we click on it, it allows us to add pages to this activity. So if I click Add Page, I could choose from each one of my different math tools. Um, let's click just a blank page. You see here now I have a page 2. I can use these arrows to go between page 1 and page 2. I can now delete or add additional pages. So using this feature, you can have page 1 that sets an example, and then page 2, 3, 4, and so on, which students can use to create or show what they know about math. Or writing, if you like. You could use this space and the text box to just have students use the writing ability and have multiple pages. And don't forget that there's also the add your name. So when you print, the name is automatically entered. So now that we see the similar features, I'd like to look at the specific sections, color tiles, pattern blocks, base 10, fraction tiles, and fraction boxes. Instead of looking at blank pages for each of these, I'm going to show you some pre-created examples in the activity section. There are a lot you could do with each of these. These are just a few examples. So the first one I want to show you is the color tiles. The color tiles, uh, as you can see here, allows us to make bar graphs. So you can see here this uses the text boxes. It uses the background. You can see you can create a grid and so on. So here, this example, if we go to page 2, we could see that we have directions, and we can use as a line at the bottom to show where the axis of our graph is going to be, and then I could use these color tiles, clicking and dragging them on to complete my graph. And then notice I have some text boxes to show observations, because writing in math is very important. So let's go and look at another math example. Another one I want to look at is building fractions using the fraction tiles. So here we have a tool that allows us to break apart the sections of this tile. So for example here, this instead of one part, I want to make this two parts to represent 1/2. Here, this 3/5 fraction, I want to break this into three parts, or 5 parts, and then represent 1, 2, 3 of those. And then I have a section for my writing. Again, writing in math is very important. So this is uh, the fraction boxes. So another example I'd like to share with you is using the equivalent fraction section. So the equivalent fractions bars provide these bars, preset bar examples of fractions that we could use to show relationships between numbers. So here I could use these fraction bars to represent equivalent fractions, and then writing in the corresponding fraction. And notice that there's multiple pages where I can show different equivalent fractions. I'd like to share with you another section. Let's look at a pattern blocks. Here we can see that the tool here is our pattern blocks, and here we can drag out our pattern blocks to complete patterns, and we could change the colors of the patterns, and we could rotate them to fit using the bottom toolbar rotate button. So here in this example we could use pattern tiles and create our different patterns. These lend themselves well to nice symmetry activities in addition. And then the base 10. Let me find a good base 10 example that we can use. Oops. So here we have some base 10. So here we could see that the base 10 example or tools provide you with the thousands, hundreds, tens, and ones section. So if I were to go over here, you could see that I have these sections. Actually, I'm going to just create a blank one real quick so you can see these features. So right off the bat, I could click on the bottom to create my grid, and I can make a variety of different ones up to the thousands. So here I can add in these blocks for hundreds, tens, and ones. I can use the text to create the writing for each of them. But the important part to know about these base 10 blocks is that you can snap and unsnap them together. For example, this 100 piece, at the bottom you notice I have this break apart button. When it's highlighted, I can break them apart and then break them apart again. And then I can put them back together. Note that it will only break apart and put back together sets that will actually combine. So here we have a set of 10. I could break them apart. But if I were to only highlight 9 of them, notice that it won't let me put them together. It only lets me put together a set of 10. Same with hundreds. If I break the hundreds apart, okay, and I try to put 90 of them together, it won't let me put them together. I could break those 90 apart, but I can't put them together as 100 again. So these hundreds blocks, or these place value blocks, are great for tools to represent numbers. So this is our just a quick overview of the math sections. They're great for centers. They're great for small group or even whole class instruction for math concepts. So have fun with the math tools in Kidspiration.